What's up, everybody? My name is Ray Taylor. This is a new early retirement vlog. In this episode, or in this installment, I want to talk about. I've been doing a lot of work on my website, trying to get all the artwork that I've done photographed, uploaded properly. Uh, all the things that go into posting something online for sale. Um, and I want to talk about. I use Squarespace. I've used Squarespace forever. Uh, Before Squarespace, I used to use Dreamweaver and would design websites completely from scratch, uh, which was a pain in the ass back. I mean, this was my first website I did back in like '99, maybe? And then I did. I've done, and I've redesigned my website. I've probably done like 30 different versions of my website. But currently, I think when I started Inspired Disorder in 2008, I had been hearing that Squarespace had been sponsoring a lot of the podcasts that I'd watch, like Totally Rad Show, Dignation, a lot of the Revision 3 shows. They still sponsor podcasts to this day, so they've been a huge supporter of podcasts. They have podcasting as a feature in their websites. So I switched over to them in 2008 and redesigned. They've come out with a lot of new templates and a lot of new things. So anyway, they make web designing easy. A lot of people will, a lot of people use like WordPress. I think Squarespace is similar to that, but also different in a lot of ways. I don't have any experience with WordPress. I've only used Squarespace and then Dreamweaver before that. And Squarespace makes it so much easier. It's gotten better. They've added a lot more features. You can sell stuff now, and you can do a lot of things. So if you are looking for somebody to host your website, Squarespace is definitely a good option. Um, and I've used it for it's great, especially if you're a podcast and you are looking to do you want to have a website instead of just uploading your stuff to Libsyn or Podbean or SoundCloud. If you want to have a website that you want to host your podcast through that, and then you can add blogs. You can set up stores. You can sell stuff. Um, so there's a lot of advantages to having a Squarespace site. The downside, though, for hosting your podcast through there, is that because they do everything similar to the store, I'm finding it's a little bit less user friendly posting new content, I guess you could say. Uh, but it's nice that it's built in. I hosted the Inspired Disorder podcast for probably a few years through them before I switched over to SoundCloud to host the podcast, and it worked great. I had done something where I was redesigning the website, and I flicked a switch somewhere, and the feed stopped showing up on iTunes, and I had some issues. SoundCloud at the time, this was probably like 2012, 2013, no, 2012, I think is when I switched over to SoundCloud. They just started their beta program, or maybe it was 2011, of hosting podcasts, well known for music. I'd been uploading my stuff there just as a separate feed for a little bit before then. But when they added that feature, I hopped on, and I really do like their setup. I really like SoundCloud, even though it's not really for podcasts. For me, I enjoy it. I've been using it. I tried to dabble in Libsyn, but that shit's expensive, especially if you want to do like multiple podcasts a week, or just long format podcasts, and then if it gets popular, like there's a lot of things that you spend a lot of money with Libsyn. Um, most people go through Libsyn. I can't imagine what people spend on Libsyn. With SoundCloud, I think I spend like $60 a year, or maybe it's like 160 a year. I forget what it is for their premium service, um, which makes it cheaper than whatever account I would have to have through Libsyn to be able to host the amount of shows that I do. Um, but with Squarespace, it's nice. It's built in. I've hosted other podcasts through there. I definitely recommend it. But going through setting up the store feature, which I've never really done, I've always sold my stuff through primarily Etsy. And then I've used services like Gumroad for kind of promoting individual items. But this would be the first time I've really dove into the commerce part of Squarespace. But it's nice. It has all the features. Just, I mean, it's almost as similar to the differences hosting the podcast through Squarespace and then hosting it through SoundCloud. SoundCloud makes it a lot easier to post your stuff for whatever reason. I haven't compared them directly, but the SoundCloud or the Squarespace one is a little bit more involved and a little bit more redundant, I've found, and also limiting as far as the file size that you can upload. But for a 2 hour, like you can upload 2 hour podcast no problem to Squarespace, and you should be able to like a 192 or 128 would be fine. But it's similar to that with the store, like posting a new product for sale on Etsy is a little bit easier than it is through Squarespace. But the nice thing with Squarespace, it's got everything. So inspireddisorder.com is where I'm doing all this work. Uh, and it's just taking a long time. I mean, shooting all the work, which I've only done 62 pieces, not completely all, it's just so redundant. So I have to go 62 different times. They need like a bulk editor or something. Or there's probably an easier way to do it. But so far I have 62 pieces up. So each piece I have to go through. I have to do all of these different things. And then I have to do it to the next one. And then I can't just like apply all. So it's kind of annoying in that sense. But I am enjoying learning how it all works with Squarespace. That way I can just kind of consolidate everything onto my website and not have to rely on sites like Etsy to sell my work. It is nice, though, selling things through stores like Etsy because there's a discoverability thing. Like if I was able to sell my work through Amazon, billions of people go to Amazon every day. So being able to search for artwork and stumbling on mine is more likely than somebody stumbling on my website. Um, so everything's going to be on Squarespace, and then I'm going to have probably select things, testing out other platforms to sell my work. But with Squarespace, I enjoy it. They have, I mean, it's cheap. This isn't a commercial. I wish they would sponsor me. Squarespace, reach out. I would love to promote your thing regularly on any of my podcasts. But it's I enjoy it. It's easy to make a website. It's easy to do a blog. It's easy to throw pictures up, and everything looks good. Their templates are, very different. It's like they have artists working there versus like a lot of people that have the WordPress kind of platform, a lot of the time just seems extremely cookie cutter and bland, versus Squarespace. It seems they have a lot of creative people. It seems like the creative department is just as large or just as big as their department that takes care of all the actual technical stuff that makes it all work. But I enjoy it, so I would recommend it if you're somebody looking to get into podcasting, especially. Before you start, look at all your options as far as where you could host your podcast, whether it's Libsyn, Podbean, SoundCloud, or on your Squarespace site. Squarespace is probably going to be slightly more of a pain, but the fact that you don't get charged if like if you have crazy traffic on some hosts like Libsyn, you pay for your success versus Squarespace or SoundCloud. They don't have like they don't have things where you pay for like bandwidth charges and bullshit. Um, which anytime I hear podcasters talk about that shit, it, I know where they're hosting their site, and it's probably costing them a lot of money to host their site through there. Uh, but with Squarespace, you just pay. I think I pay yearly, which comes out to like $8 or $12 a month, and that's it. You can with that you can host a podcast, you can write a blog, you can sell shit, you can do all kinds of different things. Um, so if you're a podcaster, I mean, some podcasts maybe they don't want a website, maybe they're just going to use Facebook or their Twitter account as kind of a landing page or whatever it is. If you're really serious about podcasting, then you have to think about, okay, you do your first few episodes or whatever, you're going to think you're going to want to upgrade so much. So many people start podcasts, they do like 10 to 20, and then they're like, okay, I don't really want to do this anymore. So you kind of have to ask how badly you want to do this. And if you do, then, you're going to want a website. You want to host your podcast somewhere that you don't want to have to switch hosts. It's the most annoying thing. So think long term. Maybe you start out one podcast a week and later you want to do 2 or 3 a week. Well, if you're through Libsyn or something like that, keep in mind the cost difference. But for hosting podcasts, aside from Squarespace, which is an all-in-one thing, I love SoundCloud, but Squarespace is nice. It's nice because you can start out hosting your thing there, and you can transfer to another host within Squarespace. That's what I ended up doing. So before SoundCloud, I was hosting through Squarespace, and then they have a forward function. So if you do change hosts within Squarespace, you can have it redirect to another RSS feed, another host. So you don't have to tell your audience hey, you need to resubscribe to this brand new link. Which, I mean, that's the best way to just lose your audience. So it's nice if you want to just try it out. You don't want to spend the money on Libsyn or SoundCloud. You just want to get a website. You want to just keep it as self-contained as possible. Getting a Squarespace site is great. And there's deals all over the place. If they do, if you are a listener of podcasts, I'm sure you've heard discount codes where you get a discount on your first month or whatever. I wish I had one for you. I do not. Again, Squarespace, hit me up. I would love to. But yeah, whether you're an artist and you just want to sell your work or display your portfolio, or you want to host a podcast on there, you do all kinds of stuff. Restaurants, they have a lot of things for restaurants. But that's all this this episode is just me talking about a service that I enjoy and I've used for a long time, but I'm getting into it again with selling my artwork. And I figured I'd talk about it because it does remind me a lot of when I was hosting the podcast through there. But they're great people. I've had questions where I've had to contact tech support, super fast service, and I don't know, it's great. I've been seriously, it's out of all the services that I've used in like the last 10 years, it's probably the longest running service. Like I don't even have the same cell phone carrier anymore. But there's no reason, I have no desire to ever move my website somewhere else. It's just, and changing it up, like I'm somebody that likes to redesign. I used to redesign the website like almost every year. And I'm kind of feeling that way now that I'm selling a bunch of artwork on there. But it makes it easy to change stuff. It makes it easy to add stuff. So yeah, so that's it. I was at one point thinking of offering a service, web design service. I may still do it, uh, especially this year. I may set that up after finish setting up all this work, this artwork to sell. But I was gonna have a service where I design websites. It would have been through Squarespace, because that's the site I know. That's the easiest um, option, and I have the most experience with it. So if you are somebody and you have money to pay me, I'm not free. I'm done doing free things or not doing free things. Everything I flaked on is because it didn't. I wasn't gonna get paid. So if I'm not getting paid, I'm not gonna be motivated to do your whatever Photoshop for free. I'm not gonna do your website for free. Um, and even like podcast consulting, maybe I'll get into that. But if you're somebody who's serious about wanting to podcast or wanting a website, please hit me up at Ray Taylor on Twitter, at Ray Taylor on Instagram. You can always leave comments in the YouTube section down below. Make sure you subscribe, obviously, youtube.com/inspired disorder. But yeah, if you have questions or if you have questions, that's cool. I'll try and help you out with just basic questions. But if you want somebody to do the work for you, you can definitely hit me up. And check out my website, inspireddisorder.com. That's where all of the artwork, the new artwork I'm doing, which is a series I'm calling The Many Faces. I still have a bunch of work I need to post. I'm going to do a promo video for it that I'm excited about. Been trying to find the right music for that. And that's it, people. It's been pretty uneventful week, aside from just kind of doing a lot of boring work sitting at my computer. My back is completely jacked up today. Actually, yesterday it was completely jacked up. I took the day off. But feeling better. I mean, sitting at my computer for a long period of time, I forget to, my posture ends up being horrible and I end up paying for it. So spending a full few days in front of the computer, doing extremely repetitive work is a strain. It's a strain. Also, I'm refreshing the Patreon page. It's inspireddisorder.com/Patreon, Patreon, or patreon.com/inspireddisorder. It's like Kickstarter. You donate to support projects. This one's geared more for artists and content creators, where it's a monthly donation. So let's say you want to spend $12 a year. Not much money. I mean, it's like a little bit more than a month of Netflix, but for the whole year, $1 a month. If I get enough people, I'm going to start doing raffles to give away original artwork. We're going to do raffles with the Inspired Disorder podcast to give away comics, and a bunch of other bonuses that if I can start getting enough donations together, we're going to start doing some fun stuff. So I haven't completely refreshed the Patreon page. I've started to. It's just so many different things. But go to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Please donate whatever you can, whether it's $1, $500. It's up to you. Any amount helps, even if it's $1. I'm telling $12 a year. That's nothing. And it helps support me, helps keep me able to do this vlog. It keeps me able to do all of the editing of the clips for the YouTube page and producing the Inspired Disorder podcast twice a week. So it allows me to work from home and get all these things done and also work on new things. So if you would like to see me keep doing artwork, keep doing podcasts, keep doing new projects, if you want to keep seeing those things come from me, because if I have to get a day job, a lot of this shit's gone. So if you want to help, just $1, go to patreon.com/inspireddisorder, and there will be gifts and a bunch of other things added to the page. which, if you're already donating and you qualify for that, you'll retroactively get whatever kind of gift or perk that comes around with that. But thank you all for watching another episode of the early retirement vlog. Make sure you check out Squarespace for all your website needs, for your podcasting needs, for your store needs, and check out inspireddisorder.com, because I'm going to be selling a lot of things and doing a lot of things with my website, um, especially this year. And for sure, donate, Patreon. And if you don't want to donate, use my Amazon link, inspireddisorder.com/Amazon. Shop on Amazon like you normally do. A little percentage comes to me. That's it, people. Have a great week. Thank you all for listening, watching. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like us, leave a comment, ask me a question. I'll answer it on the next one. I would like to do a Q&A episode at some point, so make sure you send questions and I will answer them. Thank you all. Peace.